The Walking Dead is such a phenom. And when I was like looking over your career, a lot of times you're the guy who comes into a pre-existing cast, a show that's already on the air. It's a tougher position to enter into a successful show. Am I correct?
Yeah, well, because if then the ratings drop or the story doesn't keep the audience riveted as it has for the previous 7 years, you know who's going to take the blame is fucking me.
The guy who comes in.
You believe that. So was there a fear when you took the Negan role that you were going to fuck up the show?
Well, I think for a couple of reasons. One is just because that role in itself is a big ballsy role.
It sure is.
You know,
I think that's a tough fucking role.
It's a tough challenge. And he talks so fucking much.
Yes.
I mean, it's nonstop. If I get a script for an episode, Negan talks 99% of it, and then Rick grunts.
Yeah,
you know?
Right. I was going to say, there isn't a dialogue. There's
No, it's a monologue.
It's
As an
just
actor,
monologue.
As an actor, do you get resentful of that, or do you say to yourself, "Hey, this is good for me"?
No, I get
like,
pissy.
You do.
I get pissy.
Like, help me out here.
Yeah,
Give
I'm
me
like,
some...
let somebody else talk. Yeah.
I think it's fascinating. I don't know how many people understand how you got that role. You were on a show called The Good Wife, which was very successful on CBS.
Yeah.
And while you're on that show, I guess the people contacted you and said, "Hey, we want you to play a role on The Walking Dead, but we can't tell you what it is."
That's exactly right, yeah.
And like, what is that all about? Because they wanted to keep the Negan character so top secret?
Yeah, I mean, and now that I've been with the show for a year, everything is shrouded in secrecy. Like, we don't even get scripts until the last minute, which for me is horrible because I usually have so much talking to
Now
do.
describe that, because when you filmed the first episode, they give you the script 48 hours in advance.
Yes.
And you are the entire episode. It was the last episode of season 6.
Yeah, it was the last 15 minutes of it, and it was just one big monologue. Yeah.
You can memorize that in 2 days?
Well, luckily what happened, I was here in New York doing The Good Wife, and we got the call about the show, and they wouldn't tell me who it was. And
By the way, isn't that a great moment in your career when you don't have to audition and like they just call you and say...
Thank fucking God.
Right,
oh,
yeah.
God, because I hate auditioning. I mean, I was never very good at it, and thankfully... Ever since I did Grey's Anatomy, 10 years ago or whatever it was now, I haven't had to audition for anything. I think the last audition I had was for Watchmen.
Isn't that nice? That
it's the greatest thing in the world.
They think of you as Negan. Like, it wasn't like they sat there and came up with 20 other guys.
Yeah, I found that to be a little crazy, actually. I guess the comedian in Watchmen was the closest thing I'd ever done to that character, But yeah, I think that was taking a chance on their part, especially considering I think what most people had seen me in at that time was either Good Wife or Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah.
So it's a big jump.
How do they know you can handle it? And like, how do you even know you can handle doing it? They don't show you a script, right?
No.
Did they and they wouldn't discuss the character Negan. They just said, "We want you for something."
They called and said it's going to be a villain. And because I'm a fan of the show, I know kind of exactly where we are in the story. And so I was like, "Oh, it's fucking Negan."
Right.
You know, I knew immediately.
So you're that familiar with the comic book and all of that?
Well, you know, when this character was first introduced, I was at a Comic-Con and a fan came up to me and said, "Oh, they just introduced this character in Walking Dead, and you should be this guy." And that was 5 years ago. So
a fan said that to you?
Yeah.
But to think that the creators of the show said, "Hey, this guy would be perfect for Negan," because your role in Good Wife is so opposite that guy.
Very much the opposite. You know, I've done enough stuff, I guess, that if you look for it, you can find me playing a bad guy in various things.
Here's the thing, though. I heard you, I think you said this, and it was actually very profound for me. It changed my thinking on something. Did you say, maybe I have this wrong, that Negan, when you were preparing the character, that Negan thinks of himself as a good guy? In other words, he was attacked by this crew of people. They killed his people. He doesn't see himself as a bad man. I thought that was pretty interesting.
You know what? It's interesting that you should say that, because I often hear actors say they don't think of their characters as villains.
Yeah.
That they've got to find something they like about them, something good about them.
Yeah.
And I was like, what do you find about Negan?
Yeah, well, that resonated for me.
I think if you put yourself in this apocalyptic zombified world, I think anybody that's survived this long has probably done some bad things. If you look at Rick and the survivors, they've done some horrible... They killed 30 of my men while they slept.
That's right.
You know? And so far, I've tapped a couple dudes in the head with a baseball bat, and all of a sudden, it's the end of the world.
When you mention that, it's kind of like, hey, you don't come to think of it, you should fucking kill a few more of them.
Exactly.
You're actually kind of nice.
It's not nearly there.
I think it's kind of justified.